Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to the Ask Brien radio show on KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM from South Dakota, where I'm located on assignment for Albany Farms. That's the news of the hour. Anyway, each week we discuss the Ask Brien radio show. Ask Brien is now 5.5 years old. It's available on podcast, but people still, to this day, do not know what Ask Brien is all about. To this day, people do not understand why Ask Brien is spelled with an E. In fact, yesterday I was talking to somebody, and they were trying to look it up on the site, and they said ASKBRIAN. But everybody that listens to this program, and everybody in the studio, and especially Emily and Patrick and Tracy, we all know that Brien is spelled with an E, and we do not understand why anyone would try to spell it A-N or Y-A-N. Yes, in the olden days, that's how Brien was spelled. But that is not how you spell Brien. And no, we are not an Irish pub, and we're not called O'Brien's. And Patrick, even though he's Irish, is not an O'Brien. But we do want to know and explain why Ask Brien radio show, which appears every week discussing business and helping business owners, we want to explain to everybody why we use the E. So, after many, many years and many, many trainings, I have finally accomplished that goal, and now we have Patrick who can help explain why on earth we use E's and what do the E's stand for.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what the E's stand for.
You tell us.
I'll tell you.
Tell us.
Well, the E's stand for
kind
of like
at him or with him.
Huh?
I asked Tracy if she's laughing at or with Patrick.
She's always laughing
I'm
with
always with him. I'm always with him, never at him. Always on your team. I'm Team Patrick all the way.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. I'm always on your team too.
That's okay. I'm adding an I to team.
That would not be team. That'd be team.
No, because there's no I in team as a definition. But go ahead.
Fair enough.
Some people actually want to listen to our show.
Well, the E's are kind of a symbol of Ask Brien, as in like kind of like the themes of the show, so to speak. Of them, I think the most important one is education, because we try to educate people, and we're very educated individuals as well.
Well, we may try to educate people. I don't know if we're educated individuals, but thank you for the compliment.
I just listen. I think we're pretty educated. Huh. Some of us did graduate college, if not all of us. So there you go.
I didn't. I just went to law school.
That
anyway,
still counts. Outside of that, we do have let's see. Experience, because everybody that's on the Ask Brien show is very experienced in what they do, and also kind of synonymously experts, because everybody that we bring on the Ask Brien show is an expert in their field.
And what is the definition to become an expert?
You need 10,000 hours.
And how do you get 10,000 hours?
You're giving me the math again, Peter. I don't remember. Math is my worst subject in school.
All right. That's why he became an engineer, audience. He became an engineer because he didn't know anything about math. I'm going to speak to a couple of engineers today, and we'll find out.
Not that type of engineer.
Yeah. We probably need to clarify engineer. No offense, Patty.
Okay.
Anyway, for those that are slow with the math, it's 40 hours a week. And by the way, in the old days, people worked 40 hours a week. I know nowadays people are trying to work 10 hours a week, but it was 40 hours a week. There are 50 weeks in the year because you get 2 weeks off for vacation. That comes out to how many hours? 2,000. 5 years, 10,000. That's why we use 10,000. However, we do make exceptions. You can become an expert on AskBrien.com and Ask Brien radio show without having 10,000 hours. But we do find that if you have 10,000 hours and you did something 10,000 times, you probably know it well enough, like Patrick.
That was a lot of math you threw in there for me.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. Outside of...
Is a lot spelled with 2 words or 1 word?
I think...
A lottle. That's what I say. A lottle. Isn't that cute?
A lot of what?
Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter with you? All right, so what are the other E's? Patrick?
Well, there's enthusiasm. I know yours is also kind of synonymous with...
Excitement!
There it is.
Luckily, we can barely hear that because they're on the phone.
Don't tell him that, because he'll just get louder next time. That was supposed to be
Come on,
more
Emily.
of us.
And Tracy, we have your favorite E. What's yours? Go for it.
Okay, so my favorite E is electrifying.
Grease lightning.
Grease lightning electrifying.
That
Yeah.
was country.
That wasn't Grease.
Yeah. Emily picked that one up.
No, Grease lightning was not country.
It was
and
not.
I'm not country.
No, but I was talking
I'm not-
like country.
Okay, well, I'm not country. I'm Southern, and there's a big difference, just in case anybody was curious.
Oh, my.
I didn't think Arizona was country, but okay.
I'm in Arizona. I'm not from Arizona, and I'm not country. I'm Southern.
Okay,
and
my
that has
condolences,
nothing-
Tracy.
That
My
has
condolences
nothing to
that
do
you're
with
not-
ease.
There's some
Nothing to do with
empathy.
ease.
Ah,
Empathy.
empathy.
But I will put the emphasis on Southern because that is necessary in this conversation. So that's how I'll pull an E for that. Emphasis.
Well, Patrick, are there any other E's?
Well, Emily just pulled out the empathy, and then Tracy just gave emphasis. So,
And I'm Emily.
and she's
Well,
an
the
engineer.
Nah.
Emily
That's a lot
has
of
no
E's. I
empathy
don't know that
today.
people can understand that concept.
Am I missing any more? I think we just covered like 4 of those in like a span of like 2
No,
seconds.
we're done.
Whoa.
You know Emily's the boss, so she says we're done. We're done.
Well, you know, Tracy, what I tell you each week is like no other station in the world. That's what KHTS is, like no other station in the world. And now, because we had this conversation last week, Emily, now you know that's the slogan, correct?
Correct.
All right.
All right.
Well, Patrick, thank you very much for being on today. We
Course.
appreciate it. But without any further ado, and why do I like that word?
ADIEU, because every single letter minus the D is a vowel.
That is absolutely correct. And so, for winning today, Patrick gets a Diet Coke and potato chips. Woo-hoo!
Junk food?
Thank you for being on the show.
Do you even want that, Patrick? That's
No.
I mean,
No.
I didn't think so. What a consolation prize.
Oh, boy.
Or you can get the Costco hot dog and soda for $1.50.
Ugh.
Your choice. Door number 1 or door number 2?
Is there a door number 3, or can I just close both the doors?
Just regretfully decline any prize.
Well, again, thank you very much, Patrick. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
Tracy is my co-host, for those of you who do not know. But we have a very, very good guest today. Her name is Jolene Goring. Jolene, are you there?
I am. Hello.
And you survived? You actually stayed through that whole shtick?
I mean, E-words are my favorite. Mine would be effervescence.
Woo!
What?
That's a good one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
Well, we're going to have to add that to our show now. By the time we do our show in 3 years, we'll be doing so many E's that we won't be able to get to the interview till after 1:30. But so, Jolene, what is your background? What are you an expert in?
Well, my current expertise is in influencer marketing with an emphasis on the health, wellness, and
Another
lifestyle
E.
sector. This is the theme. I see. I like it. So I focus on influencer marketing, social media marketing. That's what I'm currently up to these days.
So before we go any further, not everybody understands. So what does that mean, influencer marketing? I mean, what is that?
Okay, so influencer marketing is when you hire a person who has a substantial following, and it could be on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. It could be any sort of social media platform. And you hire that person to help tell your product story in their own authentic voice. So this is kind of like the future of marketing in the digital realm, I would say.
But it sounds to me similar to like an endorsement by a celebrity in the old days. Is there any difference?
You know what? That's interesting. It's similar, but there is a difference. And the cool thing about influencer marketing from both the brand perspective and the influencer is it levels the playing field. So anybody can do it. Any brand can find an influencer. There's different ways to structure it. You could give them a free product or service in exchange for a shout out. And every regular person like myself can, work hard and put the effort in and become an influencer. So I think the days are gone where people, we now have a choice. If you choose you want to be something, you can make it happen. You don't have to be chosen by like a production agency or a talent agency. You can just go out there and make it happen, which I think is super cool for everybody involved.
It does sound pretty exciting, but let's go on both sides of the coin. So first of all, people that are looking for an influencer, how are they going to find somebody, and how do they know that they're an influencer? I mean, how would I find you?
Okay, well, that's a great question. So this is not an E word, but one of my core business mantras that I use for myself and with brands I work with is to be intentional. Because as we know in the marketing world, I actually, previously, before I did influencing full-time, I was director of marketing for a couple international supplement companies. So, the whole marketing campaign from start to finish, I am intimately familiar with, and it can go sideways really fast. So first thing is being intentional and really deciding what do you want to get out of this campaign and who would be the best fit. Because just because somebody has a lot of followers doesn't mean they're going to be able to have success for your particular brand.
Is there a way that people can look up to find people? So not just yourself, but okay, let's say I'm looking for an influencer for the widget business. Widget business is really popular right now. A lot of people have widgets. So how would I find somebody that could influence me or influence people to go ahead and buy my widgets?
Okay, that's another great question. So there are different types. You know the right questions to ask to keep this going in the right direction. So there's different platforms that you can go on, and I think you mentioned you've interviewed a couple owners or people associated with this platform. So that is a good way. It's kind of like an online marketplace for job searching or anything like that. So you could type in what you're looking for, and they will have their own list of talent. That's one way to do it. Another way is to think about, okay, where does your target audience hang out? So for widgets, where do you think your target audience would be hanging out there?
On the widget.
In court.
On Produce Your Podcast, I would think.
The widgets are not my realm. I'm like lifestyle, but we're going to work with this because I think your listeners are familiar.
Well, just do lifestyle because that's what you're most comfortable with, and we just want to educate our listeners in the best way. So go with what you're comfortable with.
We can work with any of this. So no, let's keep going with it. We can do a couple of even examples. At least I learn better through examples as opposed to just saying, oh, here's a theory, whatever. Like, let's do some real life examples. So, okay, so you're saying your people that are wanting to be interested in the widgets are on podcasts?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so what you would do if you wanted to hire an influencer is you would look at the different podcasts in your realm and identify potentially podcast hosts who really resonate with what your brand values and mission are, and you could check out their social media as well. So it takes a lot of legwork, but I think with your background, you're also very good at details as well, aren't you?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. That's what they paid a big bucks for now. So that's just finding out where, so you don't, I guess my point with this is the whole being intentional as well. You don't just want to try a couple things and see what sticks without really knowing where you're going. So you want to be very intentional and not just say, well, this person has 1 million followers or this person, I like the way they look, but really think about what do they represent and are their followers educated on your brand. So for example, my followers, I don't even particularly know what a widget is. So, I don't think my followers would be the right demographic
a widget
to help you move your brand along.
A widget is a fictitious item, just to let you know.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe it's like
they use it in business.
app.
And they use it in business school to teach stuff. So a widget is basically anything.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so anything. I was actually thinking maybe it's like an iPhone app or something like that, but I guess it could be.
It could be. A widget can be anything.
I love
it could
that.
Be
Oh my gosh,
it could be
that
ramen
is
noodles.
okay. Yeah, the ramen noodles. That's where you're at right now, right?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh. You don't want to be incriminated, right?
Yeah, exactly. If I tell you, I have to kill you. So.
Well, good thing I'm over in Arizona. I think we're.
It's probably as hot as Arizona where I am right now. But how would I find out what a fair price is to pay somebody to become an influencer, and how do you figure that out? Is there a marketplace?
Okay. So this really, really varies depending on a bunch of things. And once again, it doesn't just have to do with the number of followers. And there's different ways that, like I like to say, social media really does level the playing field, because back when it was celebrity endorsements, paying huge celebrities millions of dollars, a lot of brands, that's way out of the realm for what they would ever do. And how do you even get an ROI on that? So we can get creative when it comes to paying influencers. You can start with offering gifting or a trade for services, and oftentimes they'll do that. Like right now, I generally don't do that since I've been an influencer full time for about 4 years. So I've worked up to I kind of have a set way that I do things. But a water filtration company is going to come in and change the water filters and put this whole reverse osmosis, alkaline, blah, 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 like very cool, healthy water system in my house. And that the value to me on that is worth it. So I'm going to do a trade with them. So you never know. You could definitely do a trade. That's the way to start. You can do affiliate marketing where they get a commission based on how much they help you sell. Or you can do the traditional paid amount. And there really is no set formula. It varies anywhere from, the free to $50 a post to $10,000 a post to, $1 million. Like it really does vary. But the good news in that is if it's the right fit for both of you, you can probably always work something out, whether it's a combination or just the paying or the affiliate. So there's a lot of options, which I think is really exciting in this realm.
Well, I mean, what I've learned in life is win-win is the best, right? So if the influencer can feel comfortable that they got something that they wanted, and myself or whoever is using their service feels like, hey, they're going to get 10,000 more viewers on my site or something, some benefit that I'm going to get. So long as there's a benefit to each side, those are the best solutions. That's what I've discovered in my life.
I love that. Yeah, the win-win for everybody, and then it's a positive experience for all. And I mean, in this realm, I've gotten to the point too in my life where I don't really deal well with negativity. And I've actually had to fire brands at some point if it just wasn't going in the right direction for both of us. And it's good because once again, the being intentional, surrounding yourself with people that have common values and you're both making each other's lives and businesses better. And why can't we all make money and have fun and help people and, do all the above at the same time?
Well, I think that's excellent advice. We're going to be taking a break in about 30 seconds. So when you come back, you're going to tell us what's the most valuable thing you've learned about business. And we're going to be taking a break very shortly here. KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. We'll be right back.
Do you remember Bill O'Reilly? He was a talk show host on Fox News. What would he say now about the latest from the Biden administration? We're happy to tell you Bill O'Reilly has joined KHTS Radio for No Spin News. He cuts through the spin and gives you a fair, smart, fact-based analysis. It's your dose of common sense for Santa Clarita. Hear about the latest craziness from Washington. Join Bill O'Reilly every Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m.
It's the No Spin News on KHTS 98.1 FM and AM 1220.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Mina Cooper is a certified realtor focusing on trusts, probates, 1031 exchanges, divorce, and much more. She's a specialist. Mina has published books on inherited and divorced properties and business dissolutions. Ready to sell? Call Mina Cooper. Need your property renovated? Mina Cooper will help. No out-of-pocket expense. Pay at escrow. Mina Cooper, Keller Williams Realty, serving Santa Clarita, Ventura County, LA County, Orange County, and San Diego. Call 310-345-8500 or go to listed by Mina Cooper, KUPER.com.
Santa Clarita has a new singing sensation, Terrell Edwards.
100% giving it your all and nothing.
Terrell Edwards opening at Santa Clarita's Canyon Club for the Super 70s group Ambrosia.
That's how much I feel for you, baby.
Ambrosia and Terrell Edwards at the Canyon Club Santa Clarita, Saturday, June 18th. Ambrosia and Terrell Edwards. Reserve your tickets now at hometownstation.com/Ambrosia.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Save water and save money. SCV Water wants to help you find your fit and take advantage of conservation rebate programs that will help you save. Water your landscape more efficiently. Replace your lawn with water-wise plants. Conduct free in-home water surveys. Cover your swimming pool and more. Find the programs that fit your needs and start saving today. Visit conserve.yourscvwater.com to learn more.
That's conserve.yourscvwater.com.
You already know Salt Creek Grill has the best food in our valley. Well, now you can have Salt Creek's gourmet meals catered to your event.
I'm Greg Amsler, owner of Salt Creek Grill. I'd like to introduce you to a new level of catering, featuring our catering director, Tamara Levine.
Salt Creek Grill creates memorable experiences, which leaves our clients and guests with a sense of awe and excitement. From menu development to picturesque presentation, you'll enjoy culinary excellence in creative catering.
Salt Creek Grill, a new level of catering.
Helping lead the way to a greener future, all of Burtek's Santa Clarita Valley waste collection trucks run on clean-burning natural gas. Burtek takes pride in their community, and they've been serving the SCV for nearly 2 decades. Because at Burtek, we'll take care of it.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Live from Belfast, South Dakota, it's the Ask Brien radio show on KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM with our guest, Jolene Goring. Jolene, we had asked you a question right before the end of the last part of the show, and we want the answer. What is the most valuable business lesson you have? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Go.
All right. So I have been referring to this already, but it is to be intentional. And one of the themes that I live with throughout my entire business career is to really choose how you spend your time, because otherwise other people are going to make that choice for you. So choose how you spend your time, or others will make the choice for you. That to me is so valuable to live my day-to-day and week-to-week business life.
Doesn't that really mean that time is the most valuable asset?
Pardon?
Does that mean that time is your most valuable asset? Is that the cliche that we're getting to?
It is a very valuable asset. I think realizing that we have the choice in how we spend our time is the most valuable takeaway from this, because I think a lot of your listeners are small business owners, and I've been there, and I run my own small business. People come at us from all angles making requests. There's always a million things on our to-do list. And unless we're extremely intentional in how we spend our time, the day gets away from us. I mean, have you ever had a day when you're just like, whoa, what happened? I literally accomplished nothing, but I was busy all day. We need to minimize those
I ate
days.
breakfast
We want to
when I started the show. I ate breakfast.
Yeah,
very productive.
I mean, that's a pretty productive day. I've had 2 coffees today. That's like, okay, check. I am happy. But I intentionally said that's my day, and I get to be on this awesome show.
Thank you very much. Tracy had a whole bunch of questions. She's got a checklist there. I mean, it's like 3 pages long. Go ahead, Tracy.
Is this rapid? Is this rapid fire?
No, we're not going to do rapid fire yet. That's when we just get close to break and we're running out of time. I'm curious because with every lesson learned, there's usually a story behind it, right? So was there a situation in your professional career that was an opportunity that presented itself that helped you realize that lesson of intentional time being spent? Is there something specific that you can put your finger on that was that moment where you were like, this is a critical thing for me to take and absorb going forward?
I had no idea you were going to ask that question, but I have a pretty powerful answer to that one. We all have those moments in our career that are pivotal, where we kind of realize what we stand for. But so my previous career, I was working as a geophysicist in oil and gas and, living that glamorous lifestyle, traveling all over the world. I ended up living in Egypt for a while. And then suddenly in 2011, the Egyptian revolution happened and I was evacuated and I ended up homeless. So just over 10 years ago, I was literally homeless. I was sleeping on a blow-up mattress in my sister's guest bedroom. And a week previous to that, I had been flying on private jets, and all of my money was either stuck in Canada or stuck in Egypt. So I was basically, kind of just with nothing. I didn't have a home. I didn't have a job. I didn't have any possessions because I'd just been evacuated. And I kind of had that moment where, and by the way, this blow-up mattress that I was sleeping in, it had a hole in it. So, yeah.
Hey, stop laughing at
literally flying in a private jet the week before, doing oil and gas deals, sleeping on a mattress with a hole in it. So it was like the second night of this happening. It was 2 a.m. and I was wide awake trying to pump up this mattress again. And I'm like, I have nothing to lose. I have been letting other people dictate how I live my life, doing what I thought I should do, chasing the money and the prestige and all of that. And I'm pumping up this mattress and I'm like, why don't I start being intentional with my life and do what lights me up, which is health and wellness and helping people and running my own company and living in the sunshine and all the great things that I'm doing now. But it literally took me losing everything to have the courage to make that life change. So part of my passion is really to help other people, whether it's business owners or friends or family or whomever, to really realize that they do have that choice to be intentional. And they hopefully don't have to lose anything to really start using their life in a meaningful way that works for them. And that's different for everybody as well. So that was a pivotal moment.
And that's an amazing moment, and I love the hole in the air mattress. It adds a little spin of creativity, but yet factual inspiration. So then that's where it sounds like to me then, that's where the building block really started, the foundation pieces of you building your influencer business began at that point. But, a lot of people, when they see influencer or they know the word influencer and they see the glamorous life, if you will, on Instagram and other social media, they just think that situation happens overnight. I don't believe that that's necessarily true. So walk us through, from the air hole in the mattress to, getting $10,000 a post. What was your trajectory that got you to where you are now?
Absolutely. So once I made the decision, health and wellness, that's my passion. I'm going to turn that into a career. I moved to Arizona, and any small business owner listening right now can probably laugh at me right now at what I did. I moved so I'm Canadian, by the way, or I lived in Canada. So I moved to Arizona a place I had never lived, a place that I knew nobody in, and I started a company in an industry that I had never worked in. Is that not crazy?
No, that's
but it's one of those.
Actually, hold on. There's a Latin term res ipsa loquitur. It's a legal term as well. It says the thing speaks for itself. But okay, go ahead.
So just having that drive and that passion. So starting up a wellness business, I'm glad I didn't know how tough it would be, but by sticking with it and knowing that it was my passion and knowing that I literally had nothing to lose by giving it a try, I continued to really do what I loved. And I always had to course correct, though, because the whole being intentional, I got sidetracked a couple of times. I'm a very hard worker. I'm originally a farm girl from Canada, so I love working hard. That is in my bones. So I persevered and became well-known in Arizona for my health and wellness business. And then a corporation hired me. And guess what? I was not being intentional, and I took that job. So before I knew it, I was back in the corporate world again, living the life that I had said I'm not going to live. But the great thing about that is that gave me extra education on, I started because I was working as director of marketing. I was hiring influencers myself. And I realized that a lot of them don't do a great job. And we can maybe touch on this too if businesses are interested in, how to hire a good influencer and what it's like to work with an influencer. Because I had behind the scenes as director of marketing hiring these influencers. And then eventually I thought, wait a minute, I have the education, I have the expertise, I have the work ethic. I could do a better job than these people that I'm hiring. And I tested it out for 3 months. I was working full time, doing influencing on the side. And within 3 months, I proved to myself I can absolutely make money doing this. And I quit my job. And that was just over 4 years ago. And it's just snowballed.
And so how did you get your first influencer brand backing you? And sometimes I feel like it's breaking the ice is some of the hardest part to being able to then create the flow for other opportunities to come in. So what was the one thing that you did, and who was the brand that aligned with you?
It really is. It's tougher. It's tough to get started, but once you do, it really starts to snowball. So I joined an online platform that I don't think is around anymore, but remember we mentioned there's hundreds now of these online platforms that match up influencers with brands. So I joined one of those, and it was just a gifting platform because at that time I think I had maybe 5,000 followers. So I did the first influencer was just it was a trade for a $5 product, and it was an oil pulling mouthwash, and I don't remember what the brand was. But I remember I held up the product and I smiled and I took a little selfie and I posted it, and I felt so ridiculous doing it. But then I realized, wait a minute, if I keep doing this, I can start making money. And it was fun to bring out the creativity. So technically the answer is I joined an online platform, and I used to be a member of quite a few of them. But now I'm at the stage where I more work with PR companies and brands on their own. So doing that is key, just to do that. And then just to start, you can email brands, you can contact them, a lot of hard work, a lot of time spent. But once you start to get 1 or 2 brand deals, it just really takes off from there.
So you mentioned 5,000 followers, which I think is it sounds like to me almost like a benchmark, or in that case, maybe in your case at the time. Now that may have changed over the last 4 years, but a lot of people are curious, what is the minimum to be able to make a foray into being an influencer? What are the kind of minimums that you need, and what are some of the requirements that some of these brands are looking for?
I wouldn't say that there's a minimum number of followers specifically, because there's a lot of brands now that are realizing that micro influencers have sometimes better results than the larger influencers. So back when I was starting, it was 10,000 was kind of the benchmark, where once you had 10,000, you could get the swipe up feature on your stories and you could do the brand links. And that was kind of the level. So I worked really hard and by the way, the best way to grow your Instagram, if you're trying to do that, is to be on the platform and to engage with other people post on a regular basis. So a lot of it is just the consistency. And once again, the intention of, okay, what is my brand story, and staying true to that theme. So people, when they go to your page, they know what you stand for. So to answer your question a little more in detail, the great thing about this level playing field now is there's no minimum number to be an influencer. I've seen people that have 500 followers get brand deals, and they have great engagement. Their followers are very loyal. And isn't there some sort? Is it a? I know with your business background too. Is it like you need to have 100 loyal fans, and then you're considered an influencer, or your business can be successful?
You hear different numbers around that. I mean, I know that there's certain numbers that you have to have in order to get your own URL, personalized URL, and things like that, your own channel name for your URL and things like that. But I mean, I think it really depends on what your focus is and what you want to do with those followers. And it's interesting because we mentioned podcasting before, and that's my background, broadcast radio and podcasting. And it feels like to me when you're talking about micro-influencers that podcasting has really helped put that particular type of influencer on the map. Have you utilized podcasting, or do you know in the influencer network that you have in terms of leveraging podcasting, for example?
That's funny. That's actually the next round I'm going to be going more into with my own personal brand is more in the podcasting. I've been on a couple podcasts in the past, but it's definitely something I'm pushing forward with. But I know that a lot of influencers, that is the way that they get and brands too, that's the way that they get their product out there or their latest offering is podcasting. And people now in our busy world, you know better than I do, I'm sure, the podcasting, the numbers keep growing. People like to listen while they're driving or whatever. They don't necessarily even want to watch a video. They just want to listen to all the content they could get. So I think podcasting is a huge up and coming as well. It keeps getting larger and larger. And also one thing that I noticed when I was building my brand is, I mean, we've talked about a couple of different platforms. I made sure to focus just on one. I chose the one that I was most comfortable with, most excited about, that my target audience would be hanging out on. And that's pretty much all that I did for the 3 months to prove it. And even up into this 4 years, Instagram is I probably spend 90% of my time on Instagram, because if you focus on the one thing and you get to be known in that realm, it's much easier to be successful than if you're trying to take care of, 10 different platforms at the same time.
Oh, I completely agree with that. So we have a couple of minutes before the break. You were mentioning before about what defines a good influencer in terms of from the brand's perspective. So you were a director of marketing. You were managing, curating influencers, if you will, and you weren't necessarily having the most positive experiences. What kind of tips can you give to someone of what to do, but almost more importantly, what not to do?
Okay. Yes. This is golden here because I see this a lot with brands that I work with as well. Oftentimes I'm one of the first influencers they've hired or they've had bad experiences. And a lot of brands just go out there and they randomly choose someone, or they choose someone with a lot of followers. It's not the right fit for their brand. So the first question you want to ask between both the brand and the influencer is, why are you a good fit together? Really thinking about that. So from the brand's perspective, looking at the influencer, this person is going to be representing their brand. So even taking a look at what are they posting in their day-to-day life. If you're a brand that promotes wellness products, you want an influencer that also posts pictures of them smoking and partying and stuff like that. Maybe yes, maybe no. That's up to you to really think about. This person is an extension of your brand. So really being mindful, do they stand for what you stand for? So that's probably one of the biggest things to think about. And then the second one would be to define the goals of the campaign. Because I've had brands where they send me the product, they send me the check, and then I'm like, well, what are we doing? And they just kind of leave it in my hands, which is fun for me in a way, but do I know if the brand is defining their goals and if they're achieving what they want to achieve? So being, once again, very intentional with what is the goal of this campaign and communicating that with the influencer back and forth to make sure you're both aligned. Because, I mean, as we know, if you don't know where you're going, you don't even know if you're successful or not, and then you're just hoping. So those would be the top,
well,
the top few tips. Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. We're going to be right back. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM, the Ask Brien Radio Show. We'll be right back.
It's a hit. Audiences are loving Something Rotten, playing now at the Canyon Theater Guild. The year is 1595, and Shakespeare is a rock star. A rival acting troupe can't compete with The Bard. They need something new, exciting, never before done. Laugh your way back in time to the Renaissance with this hilarious show featuring tap dancing, Shakespeare, and the origins of the musical. Get your tickets today by calling 661-799-2702 or reserve online at canyontheater.org.
This is Bradley from Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program serving children, families, and individuals experiencing food insecurities. Since January 2020, Santa Clarita Grocery has distributed 83 tons of fresh groceries to 4,465 families in the SCV. Santa Clarita Grocery is a drive-up, drive-through service with physical distancing in place to continue serving our community. If you are in need or looking for a charity to do the most good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery, one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. A full 99 cents out of every dollar goes directly back to the community. Santa Clarita Grocery operates on a 1% overhead and is sustained through private donations. Santa Clarita Grocery is at 21176 Center Point Parkway in the Oasis Furniture parking lot. Please visit our website, santaclaritagrocery.org, or our Facebook at Santa Clarita Grocery to make a difference in our awesome town community. 661-425-7575. Be our guest and experience the difference.
Okay, Shelby, care to share with the class what you did this weekend?
My weekend started in the African desert, where I was surrounded by wild animals, like fennec foxes. After that, I climbed towering trees in the rainforest and played next to an animal called a prehensile-tailed porcupine.
Okay, who's next? Ryan?
I went to the mall.
Visit the new Wildlife Explorers Base Camp at the San Diego Zoo and feel what it's like to be wild.
It's no wonder people love Baskin Robbins. 31 delicious flavors of ice cream. Celebrate with your favorite ice cream served any way you want, including the special flavor of the month. Baskin Robbins, now open on Lyons Avenue in Newhall under new Santa Clarita family ownership, is the first Southern California hybrid design store for Baskin Robbins and the oldest location in Santa Clarita, over 45 years. America's favorite neighborhood ice cream shop is just one scoop away. Baskin Robbins, the perfect dessert for your next celebration.
Our 15th annual KHTS Sacramento trip has been a huge success. Over the years, over 1,000 community leaders have traveled to our state capital for 2 days of advocacy on behalf of our valley. Our group consisted of Democrats and Republicans, business leaders, city council members, school and water board members, and directors of our leading nonprofits. We'd like to thank Senator Scott Wilk, Assembly members Suzette Valadares, Tom Lackey, and their staffs for making this year's trip such a success. Our trip was made possible by these fine sponsors: State Senator Scott Wilk, Southern California Edison, the Santa Clarita Valley Water Agency, and the Southern California Gas Company. Each year, 4 local high school students are awarded scholarships to participate. Special thanks to California Credit Union and SCVI, I Lead Schools, for allowing us to hand the baton to our next generation. Details of this year's and all previous trips can be found at hometownstation.com.
Experience Frontier Toyota's all-new hot and exciting Toyota lineup. Serving the Santa Clarita Valley for over 30 years. Frontier Toyota, the Camry, Corolla, and Prius Kings. They're tops in Tacoma and Tundra trucks. Frontier Toyota, the new way of car buying. Shop from home at frontiertoyota.com or visit their showroom at Valencia and Creekside. Discover a whole new car buying experience with your friends at Frontier Toyota.
Many families face a new challenge. Childcare has forced one parent out of the workforce. Otter has created a solution. Otter is a childcare marketplace that connects Santa Clarita parents who need childcare with stay-at-home parents who can care for your kids alongside their own. Otter unlocks the ability for those parents to earn money and provide badly needed childcare for our valley. Otter connects you with your neighbors. Register for free at withotter.com. Withotter.com. Otter, childcare that feels like family.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM, the Ask Brien radio show, where you learn about business every week. Traci, you had a question.
I do. So, Jolene, you've shared so much great information with us. Tell our listeners what's next for you. What's next in the trends for influencers, and what's next for you as an influencer?
Cool. Well, thank you. This has been so fun. Let's see. Trends for influencers. Definitely think the micro-influencers are more up and coming, getting a lot more brand deals. And for myself, I've got a couple of really fun brands I'm working with that I cannot mention right now. And I'm also designing my own fashion activewear line, which will be coming out in the next couple of months. And thirdly, I'm also consulting for different companies and businesses, helping them really get their social media marketing strategy solid and helping them find influencers as well.
Well, that's very exciting. I know that people would really love to get in touch with you about any of those different areas. What is the best way for our audience to reach out to you?
Absolutely. I'm on Instagram at Jolene Goring, and my website is jolenegoring.com, or you can email me, Jolene at jolenegoring.com.
And let's just give a quick spelling for that since we're audio and make sure that people know how to spell it correctly.
Yes. JOLENEGORING.
That is fantastic. Well, we wish you every success, and we look forward to seeing what those new brands are that you're going to be representing coming out. And if you want to re-listen to this show, or if you missed part of it and you want to grab any portion of this show, we encourage you to go to your favorite listening platform, wherever you listen to your podcast, and download, follow, and listen to the Ask Brien podcast. And, of course, that's ASKBRIEN podcast. And when you're doing that, we would love it if you would head over to Apple and leave us a review and give us that 5-star rating that everybody strives for. So if you love us, give us a 5-star rating. If you don't, message us directly and tell us how we can do things better. But do download the Ask Brien podcast, and you can listen to all our previous episodes as well as this fantastic episode on becoming and being an influencer. Peter?
Well, thank you very much, Jolene. We appreciate your time. Traci, thanks a lot. You listen to the Ask Brien radio show on KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. Until next Thursday, until 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we're over and out.